This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
A gas station explosion badly injured a man filling up his motorcycle. A federal lawsuit claims the recent wildfires were caused by illegal actions.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It is another cloudy and cold start to the day out there. Numbers in the 30s and 40s. How much warmth we're going to be dealing with later on today, and also tracking what could be the coldest night of the season upcoming.
And this morning, an Orlando police officer is facing legal troubles ahead. How investigators say he clocked in for shifts, even though he was hundreds of miles away. 5 o'clock on the start to your Friday, January 24th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kirsten Delgado.
Thank you for joining us. Central Florida, I'm Cuba. Get to here at 5 a.m. First, weather with David Haggard.
Hey, good morning, Q, and Kirsten. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, another cold start to the day. Boy, I'm getting a little tired of saying that out there. Light a cloud cover again this morning. Live look here over downtown Orlando. Temperatures right now hanging out in the low 40s. We've kind of been hanging out in the low to mid 40s for the last day and a half, 2 days really. 43 currently at OIA, northwesterly wind right now at 7 miles an hour. A lot of us waking up to temperatures in the 30s and 40s. We're currently 30 in Ocala, so now below freezing, where we do have a freeze warning in effect there. 38 in Palm Coast, 41 in Sanford, 43 in Kissimmee, and 44 the current temperature over in Melbourne. Early morning Doppler 9 is nice and quiet out there. That being said, we still have some cloud cover around, and just like yesterday evening, there could be a little bit of mist and drizzle here and there, especially for the morning commute. Much of the daytime hour is going to end up being quiet, though, and pretty dry. We'll finally see some sunshine in Seminole County, but it doesn't really warm us up a ton. You can see by 11 a.m. we're into the upper 40s. Afternoon highs in Castleberry only make it into the mid 50s. I'll be back. We'll take a closer look here at temperatures in other parts of the region, and also the latest on what could be a big time chill for tonight that's coming up in less than 10. Let's head over the traffic center now. Q with the first look at the Friday morning commute.
Yeah, Traffic Tracker has a crash we have to tell you about. Hiawassee Road is blocked off in both directions right now. First responders have the road blocked off from Coral Cove Drive to Hiawassee Meadows Drive, and you can take Powers Drive to get around this closure right now. Now, we also have another crash to show you on Narcoossee Road near Boggy Creek Road down in the St. Cloud area. This is Narcoossee right here. It's right by the elementary school. Now, state troopers have part of this intersection blocked off as well. Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll take you over to the coast.
This morning, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office is facing a federal lawsuit. It comes after deputies used a taser, creating this fireball at a gas station. And that fire seriously burned a man. Channel 9's Sam Martello joins us live from the Wawa in Orange County where it happened. And Sam, this case spanned 2 counties.
Kirsten, it did. It started in Kissimmee over in Osceola County and then ended at the pumps at this Wawa here in Orange County. This is on John Young and Central Florida Parkways. And now the man taking this to federal court is looking to be compensated for his injuries. Now, the deputy accused of sparking these flames was found not guilty in criminal court. So coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to tell you how that could or could not impact this case civilly. Live in Orange County, Sam Martello, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Sam. We'll see you at 5:30. Well, new this morning, Edgewater police say they have arrested a man accused of crimes against children. Investigators say Ali Albandar Moreno used social media to reach out to kids. They say he eventually assaulted at least 2 of them. Right now, detectives are checking to see if there are any other more possible victims.
3 people are dead after a crash involving multiple cars happened on North Hiawassee Road. It happened yesterday as police say 1 car was going northbound when the driver lost control and went over a median. That car then hit a car going southbound. 3 people in the car that lost control were killed. The driver of the second car was then airlifted to Orlando Regional with serious injuries.
We have some new details for you this morning on how an Orlando officer was able to clock in and out of dozens of shifts from home without anyone knowing. Our Nick Papantonis reports investigators say this went on for months. OPD told us Officer Fleury retired from duty when they told him about the accusations. They sent us a statement saying they're on top of the situation now. Quote, this system ensures officers are only paid when they are physically present at their assigned job location, thereby preventing similar incidents from occurring in the future, end quote.
This morning, local leaders don't want you falling for a new scam. Some people in our area are getting a text message that claims that you have an outstanding balance for your tolls pay up. Now, last summer, Channel 9 warned you scammers using local toll agency names to get you to pay by clicking a fake link. The Central Florida Expressway Authority says it'll never text you about an outstanding balance, and the best way to check your by logging onto your account.
Thousands of cruise passengers are finally at sea this morning after their ship was delayed for hours. Here Port Canaveral right now. Carnival Freedom left the port on its way to the Bahamas. The ship was supposed to leave around 3 o'clock yesterday, but it didn't because of what they called an environmental matter. They said guests were kept informed about the delay. Now, you may at the Freedom caught fire last year. I remember talking to a bunch of those passengers when they got off the ship. Now, these are images of the flames and smoke coming from the funnel. This happened in March of last year while the ship was near the Bahamas. The captain turned the ship towards an area with heavy rain to help put out the flames. No one was hurt, but 2 firefighters had to be treated for smoke inhalation.
Arctic air is blasting Florida. Volusia County has several shelters open as the cold air continues to bring temperatures down here across Central Florida. Into land, the bridge located on South Palmetto Avenue will open until 8 this morning. Breakfast will also be available for those who need a warm meal. And the Halifax Urban Ministries is working with several churches to expand shelter services.
In Flagler County, the Rock Transformation Center will be open for those without homes, but also for those without heat. There will also be bus transportation to the shelter all over the county. Buses will be picking people up on Saturday. The Rock Transformation Center address is 2200 North State Street. All right, the time now is 5:08, and David Heckard's going to tell you just how cold it's going to get.
Yeah, it is going to be another chilly start to the day out there across Central Florida. Is a live look out at Port Canaveral. We are dry, a little bit of patchy drizzle here and there, but I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. More annoying than anything here for the morning commute. It is cool area-wide, including along our Brevard County coastline. 45 currently out at Port Canaveral. There's those steady north-northwesterly winds at 12 miles an hour. Inland areas are even cooler than that. In fact, we got below freezing now in Ocala. You're at 30 degrees there, 39 in the Villages. Good morning, Leesburg, 40 degrees, 42 in Four Corners, and 39 the current temperature over in Center Hill. So freeze warning remains in effect here for basically areas north and northwest of Orlando. Not convinced that this entire corridor is going below freezing, but communities like the Villages, Forest Hills, Pearson, maybe even Bunnell, I can't rule out temperatures kind of hovering around that 32, 30 to 33 degree time period. I think the cold weather advisory is kind of the bigger storyline. Most of us are under that. That could be having wind chills in the 20s and 30s we head into the next couple of hours. So in Ocala for the daytime hours today, chilly once again, but we will see some sunshine. And our northwestern areas probably see some sunshine as early as 9-10 a.m. By lunchtime, we're kind of right around 50 degrees, and afternoon highs in Marion County only making it back, it looks like, into the mid-50s. I'll be back. We got a big cool down tonight, and finally some warmer weather on the way. How warm it gets coming up in less than 10. Let's head back to traffic center now, where Q is monitoring conditions in Volusia County.
Yeah, we're taking you to the coast, and here's a live look at Volusia County thanks to our traffic tracker. We're not seeing any slowdowns right now. A lot of green, and green means go. Now let's head south to Brevard County, where we're tracking some slowdowns, though, on the beach line and the US 1 interchange. Now the rest of the highways, though, in this area are clear. Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll tell you about the drive times here in the Central Florida area.
Doctors have an important warning this morning they want you to hear.
I felt like my body was like having an allergic reaction.
Coming up, the investigation into a suspect accused of injecting his patients with drugs from China. We'll tell you ahead how to protect yourself from this happening to you.
It started as a little bit of fun during a rare blizzard in Florida. Next, why police ended up arresting college kids after a snowball fight.
Drone 9, only on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, getting you closer over the scene of breaking news. Sponsored by Bogan Munns & Munns. No gimmicks, just results.
A local judge accused of sarcasm, profanity, and threats in the courtroom is set to be publicly reprimanded.
This is a story 9 Investigates has been following since 2022. And investigative reporter Shannon Butler explains what led to that decision.
Here's some sports news for you this morning. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a new head coach this morning. ESPN is reporting that the Tampa Bay Bucks offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, has agreed to a deal to lead the Jags. Cohen had pulled his name from consideration for the job in Jacksonville earlier this week. He then agreed to a contract extension with the Bucks. In a big twist, Cohen then changed his mind about the Jags position after Jacksonville fired their general manager.
Well, the countdown is on for one of the most popular races in NASCAR. We're hours away from the Rolex 24 in Daytona Beach. The 24-hour endurance race starts tomorrow at the Daytona International Speedway, and while it will be cold, track officials say nothing will stop them from waving the green flag. The cars are capable of racing in all kinds of conditions, and you can learn more about the race in the web links section of our website, WFTV.com.
People are reacting to a snowball fight that went way out of control up in Tallahassee. Check out this video. This is new video, and it shows students hanging on to cars and throwing ice and snow on Wednesday morning. Police were called to the scene and ordered the crowd to leave the area. Detectives say one man threw an ice ball at officers, so they shot pepper balls at the crowd. Students at Florida State University say the officers went way too far.
I think it was reasonable for them to be there, but the whole reaction of how they handled the situation was a bit like I don't know, it was just a little bit too far.
Well, this morning, Tallahassee police say no one was hit by the pepper balls. They also say throwing ice is, quote, dangerous and illegal. Fun in the snow gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, you got to do stuff safely. I get the appeal of snow. It's not something that we're going to see here every winter, thankfully.
How many of you had a snowball fight going out of control at Florida State on your bingo card for 2025, right?
That was
I thought you were going to ask as a kid. I was like, yeah, Florida.
Not Florida State, yeah. So a bit of a stunner there. Hey, we have day to day. That's great news, I know, for everyone out there. But we will begin to warm up here.
At this point, it's great. Sure,
yeah, it's just wonderful. Hey, look at the stunning statistic we found back in the Weather Center. We have been at or below 50 degrees now in Orlando for 58 consecutive hours and counting. We will likely clear the low 60s in terms of the number of. We're going to be at below 50 degrees. Truly a Arctic air mass descended across the area. This is the coldest air that I can remember here in Orlando since the Christmas. If you remember Christmas Eve, Christmas Day 2022, very, very cold. I remember it quite well because my daughter was 8 months old. First time she really dealt with cold air, and she did not like that at all. Temperatures outside right now, not that brisk. 43 currently out at OIA. Steady northerly winds at around 12 miles an hour. Early morning Doppler 9 is nice and quiet. However, we do have a little bit of patchy drizzle here and there. That's going to continue for the morning time period. It's not going to be enough to really impact the roads, I think, but it will be enough to be kind of annoying as you maybe head out to your car. You may have to run the windshield wipers a couple of times. And Future Track's kind of detecting some of those light drizzle pockets here at 9 a.m. We're going to wake up to a good deal of cloud cover, especially in areas, say, central and southern two-thirds of the region. But you can see here by lunchtime, clouds begin to clear out of Metro Orlando. It may take a little bit longer for parts of Brevard, southern Osceola County to really see that sunshine, but even there, you'll see the sun here later on this afternoon, but those steady northerly winds will just continue to transport that cool air across the region. So warmer than the last couple of days, but still way below average. Temperatures only make it today into the low to mid 50s. Then later on tonight, 9 o'clock, still keeping those northerly winds out there. We're really going to begin to clear skies out. So by 9, temperatures are going to quickly fall back into the 40s. And I think we're on track here tonight for the coldest night we've seen of the entire season. And that's saying something out there. In the low to mid 30s. So the Villages for today, still going to be sweatshirt weather all day long, but at least we'll see the sunshine again finally. 11 a.m. temperatures in the mid 40s. Afternoon highs in Sumter County get back into the mid 50s, and highs today across the region again still well below average, but a little bit warmer at least. 55 in Winter Haven, 56 in Orlando, and 53 the forecast high in Daytona. Let's talk about tonight because we do think we're going to be talking about a significant freeze event north and northwest of the city. If you live in cities like the Villages, Eustis, Lake Catherine, Astor, Bunnell, I'd go ahead and start preparing here for potential freezing conditions. You can see these numbers are kind of hovering right along that freezing mark. Hard freeze very possible north of Ocala, especially Ocala National Forest, Citra, and Riddick. And then you can see here this area of light pink. That is the threat for maybe some patchy frost. And it's going to be a close call here, I think, in Orange County, Seminole County, and even southern Lake County, how much frost develops because the winds were going to remain elevated out there. So something we'll be keeping a very close eye on. But bottom line, we could see a little bit of frost, especially in West Orange County and into parts of Seminole County daybreak tomorrow morning. We finally begin to warm up heading into the weekend, though. Low 60s tomorrow. And look at Sunday, not too bad at all. High temperatures back in the low 70s. 7-day forecast weekend always in view. Again, mid 50s for today. Clearing skies, plenty of sunshine, dry weather here for the weekend. And then temperatures really take off as we head into next week. We're back into the mid 70s starting on Tuesday. Let's over the traffic center now. Q monitoring a new problem in Orange. Orange County.
We have this new crash on State Road 520 and Nova Road in East Orange County. This is just south of the Beachland, as you can see here. Now, Orange County firefighters are still working on this one. At the moment, it's not causing any slowdowns, but we'll keep you posted if anything changes there. And we promised you some drive times. Here they are. If you're heading westbound on I-4 from DeBerry to the 408, it'll take you about 24 minutes right now. And if you're on the 408 going westbound from Alafaya Trail to I-4, it'll take you about 11.
It's a dream come true for two local families. Just ahead, how months of hard work and planning ended when these families moved into their own home. Then next, it's tax season once again, but consumer advisor Clark Howard has a way to avoid some of the common headaches. It's 5:22.
Welcome back. I'm Q McCrae.
And I'm Kirsten Delgado. Going through your tax documents and receipts can stress you out. I already started getting some of my documents in the mail yesterday.
Yeah, and don't like this time of the year. All right, well, Channel 9 consumer advisor Clark Howard says filing your taxes this year may be easier than you think.
And Clark Howard is here to help you during this tax season. He's posted even more valuable resources for you online at clark.com.
Developing this morning, donors are suing OneBlood over last summer's data breach. The lawsuit says OneBlood didn't tell donors their names and social security numbers were taken until a month later. Now, the nonprofit says they are offering free identity monitoring for those affected. Last summer's data breach also affected patients at over 250 hospitals in Florida, Georgia, and up in the Carolinas. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office is facing a federal lawsuit.
Coming up, the allegations from a man badly hurt after this fireball at a gas station.
Another cool day across Central Florida, waking up to temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Very latest when we finally begin to warm up across the area, and our next threat for rain that's coming up.
Eyewitness News live stream, sponsored by Advent Health.
Whatever makes you feel whole, chase it. Advent Health. Feel whole.
This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
A federal lawsuit has been filed in this traffic stop that turned into a fireball.
They're going after the sheriff's department altogether. They're going after the policies and the procedures.
Ahead, how attorneys could try to prove the Osceola County Sheriff's Office is responsible for that man's burns.
Yet another morning featuring cloudy skies and cool temperatures across the area. Very latest when the sunshine returns to the region, and I'm tracking even cooler air on the way for the overnight.
And a judge blocked President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship. Why the president says he wasn't surprised by the ruling. Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Q McCrae. The time now is 5:30.
And I'm Kirsten Delgado. Let's get over to certified meteorologist David Heckard with your Friday morning weather in a minute.
Hey, good morning, Kirsten and Q. Good morning, everyone. Once again, we are waking up to temperatures into the 30s and 40s across the region. Heavy dose of cloud cover again this morning. Let's look live over downtown Orlando, I-4 and the 408. Temperatures right now in the low 40s. A steady northwesterly wind right now at 7 miles an hour. A lot of us waking up to 30s and 40s across the region. In fact, Ocala sitting below freezing at 30. We're 40 in Claremont, 43 Kissimmee. A good morning Daytona temperature there of 42. Do have a stiff wind out there, so we have feels like temperatures or show values 20s and 30s. It feels like 24 right now in Ocala, 39 in Orlando, so be sure to bundle up. Once again, need some layers, at least for the morning hours. Early morning Doppler 9 is nice and quiet, but because of the cloud cover, there is a little bit of patchy drizzle, some mist around. That should be over and done with, though, by late morning. And in Winter Garden, we finally begin to see some sunshine by about midday. Another cool day, though, with temperatures back into the mid-50s. I'll be back to take a close look at temperatures across parts of the region. That's coming up in less than 10. Let's head over the traffic center now. Monitoring a new issue in Orlando.
Yeah, we have a new crash to show you right now. It's on Old Winter Garden Road at Silverston Street. Now, this is right by the Ivy Lane Elementary School, if you're familiar with the area. At the moment, firefighters are working on this crash, so we'll let you know when they clear things up here. Now, we also have another one to go back to. Hiawassee Road is back open after a crash. Had both directions on this road closed about, 30 minutes or so ago? So that's the good news there. you won't need an alternate route to get around this issue at the moment. Now, just ahead, we'll show you what the latest happening on the coast.
A man hurt during a fire at a gas station has filed a federal lawsuit against the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. This incredible video shows Barreto Baraga after being tasered by an Osceola County deputy. Channel 9 reporter Sam Martello's live for us at the Wawa in Orange County where it happened. And Sam, the lawsuit claims that his injuries were the result of, quote, widespread practices of unlawful conduct in the sheriff's office.
Yeah, Kirsten, the lawsuit claims the Osceola County Sheriff's Office went too far in this situation to address local traffic issues and in turn injured Barreto right here at these gas pumps at this Wawa gas station. They also went on to say that was because of the excessive use of force. And to win this lawsuit, attorneys now have to prove the sheriff's office was at fault.
All right, Sam, we'll see you at 6. Well, all new this morning, an Osceola County man is waking up in jail after he was accused of robbing stores in Kissimmee. Deputies say this man, Alejandro Lugo Sanchez, was part of a burglary ring that stole from 3 stores and 5 cars. They also say he and some other guys walked into the Loop Smoke Shop last December and robbed the business at gunpoint. Sanchez is facing several charges. One of them is aggravated assault with the intent to commit a felony.
This morning, some big city mayors are protesting new arrests carried out in recent hours. It's in reaction to an immigration crackdown by President Donald Trump. And as Perry Russin reports, it comes as an executive order on birthright citizenship faces major setbacks. Next week, a special session focusing on immigration is scheduled at the state capitol. Channel 9's Greg Warmith and investigative reporter Shannon Butler will have live coverage starting on Monday. Governor Ron DeSantis has been clear that he wants Florida to lead the way with these immigration policies. Commissioners in Ormond Beach have denied the creation of a new subdivision because of flooding concerns. Over 30 homes were supposed to be built west of I-95 near Hunter's Ridge, but one commissioner we spoke to says there's standing water on that land and the neighboring communities are also dealing with flooding. That commissioner says she's not anti-development and does hope that the city and the developer can come to an agreement.
I asked the developer directly from the dais on Tuesday night if he would be willing to proceed with the project if we were to deny, and he said no.
Another commissioner asked the developer if he would consider removing one row of homes, and he also said no to that. We've reached out to the attorneys who represent the developer, but we have not heard back. Right now, Volusia County has more than $133 million to help with Hurricane Milton recovery.
That's right. And right now they want to hear from you about how they should use it. Now, the county will be hosting a public meeting at Pictona at Holly Hill, right across the street from City Hall on Ridgewood Avenue, if you're familiar with the area. Now, it will start tonight at 5 o'clock and end at 6:30. It's all part of a series of meetings throughout Volusia County that will continue next week.
5:39 on the start to your Friday morning, getting a check of weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
Yeah, good morning, Kirsten. Good morning, everyone. It is another cloudy, somewhat cool start to the day out there. Somewhat cool start. It is a cool start to the day out there. Live look here out at Daytona Beach. Quiet conditions out there. Again, we may run into a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of mist at times, especially along and east of I-4, but a lot of us are going to stay dry today. 42 the current temperature out at Daytona, so once again, you're going to kind of need to dress in layers here with a steady northwesterly winds at 9 miles an hour. Temperatures in Brevard County waking up to numbers in the 40s, including right at the coastline. A lot of times the Atlantic kind of protects the Barrier Islands, keeps them in the low 50s. Not with this air mass. 46 at Melbourne Beach, 43 Vieira. Look at Cocoa. Temperature there right now of 41 degrees. Still have a freeze warning in effect here for areas basically north and northwest of Orlando. I am just not convinced at this point anybody basically south of State Road 50 is going to make it below freezing, but Ocala is sitting at 30 degrees and couldn't rule out Forest Hills, Pearson, maybe even Bunnell getting very close to that freezing mark here as we get towards daybreak. The bigger headline is the cold weather advisory. We do have some wind chills out there in the 30s and low 40s. You can see that includes the majority of the area, so do be careful. Be sure to have those kids good and bundled up out at the bus stop, especially if it takes some time for the bus to get to that destination. Palm Coast for today. Some sunshine, I think, by about 9-10 a.m. Another cool day, though, with high temperatures only making it in the low 50s. I'll be back. Coolest air of the season looks to arrive tonight. How chilly we get, and we're also going to break down the weekend for you. That's coming up in less than 10. Let's head back to the traffic center now. Q watching some watching the beach line.
That we are. So here's a look at the coast. We promised you that. It's showing the beach line westbound at US 1. And we are tracking some slowdowns on our traffic tracker, but we're not seeing any real problems right now. But if anything changes, of course, we'll let you know. So let's head north now up to Volusia County, where we're not tracking any slowdowns. As you can see, there's a lot of green. That's great news. We'll have the drive times coming up in 10 minutes.
Some Florida turtles are in shock this morning after they were caught in this cold snap. Coming up, how long it could take for those turtles to just thaw out.
And police made an arrest after patients were injected with counterfeit Botox from China. Next, how one man said he knew something was very wrong.
Download the WFTV weather app. Get a localized forecast from Tom Terry. Just search WFTV. Brought to you by the Law Offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now, 407-888-8000.
Central Florida's local news doesn't stop after 6 p.m.
And neither does constantly tracking and updating your forecast.
On WFTV Tonight, we get you ready now with the information you'll need tomorrow.
WFTV tonight at 11 on Channel 9.
Every answer tells a story.
What would you do if you found out your partner secretly went through your phone?
I'm gonna deny everything.
Family Feud.
That ain't me. Matter of fact, that ain't my phone.
Brought to you by McCoy Federal Credit Union. Traffic updates are sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando.
Welcome back. Now, there's a new warning about counterfeit Botox after an arrest made up in New York.
And Action 9's Jeff Deal reports a suspect is accused of injecting his clients with drugs from China. Doctors say you should also ask to see the packaging of the Botox that's being used to make sure everything is written in English and comes in doses of 100. If not, it's probably fake.
Lots of turtles here in Florida have a nice warm place to stay right now after we're caught in a freezing blast of Arctic air here in Central Florida.
150 turtles are now at the Gulf World Marine Institute. That's in Panama City. Staff and volunteers are trying to get them warmer in warmer water following the unusual temperatures this week. But in order to prevent shock, those turtles can only be warmed up by about 3 to 5 degrees each day. I got to tell you, I feel like them. I feel like I got to be warmed up. You know what I mean? I got to thaw out from what's happened.
By just 3 to 5 degrees every day, though?
Just a little bit. You don't want to shock the system. You know what I mean?
True story. I think it was 2 days ago. We turned the heat on at our house finally, and my wife turned to me and she's like, we got to turn it on higher. So we had to take the heat up a little bit. It's just, the house was just getting so cold. We just needed more heat, as crazy as that sounds, here in Florida. Just a remarkable stretch of weather out there. And our weather on the way, we finally are going to begin to get rid of this cloud cover. And that's part of the reason it's been so chilly the last couple of days. So sunshine returns finally, but it doesn't really warm things up a ton. It's going to be warm in the last couple of days at least, with high temperatures back in the mid-50s. Coldest air of the season still on track, I think, for tonight with clear skies, lighter winds. Metro Orlando gets down to the mid-30s. If you live north of Metro Orlando into parts of Northern Lake, Sumter, Marion, Inland Volusia, Inland Flagler counties, probably need to prepare for widespread frost and maybe even some freezing conditions in those corridors. And then a warmer weekend in store. 60s on Saturday, still kind of jacket weather, but boy, Sunday's looking really nice with sunshine, temperatures into the 70s. Outside right now, Lake Eola, again, some cloud cover around. A little bit of mist and drizzle from time to time. 43 the current temperature at OIA. Northerly winds right now at 12 miles an hour. Early morning Doppler 9 is quiet, but as I just mentioned, with the cloud deck, especially these low clouds, can't rule out a little bit of patchy drizzle or mist here and there. I think the best change for that this morning is going to end up being kind of east of I-4, especially into parts of Brevard County. You can see that cloud cover just kind of remaining pesky here in latest satellite and radar data. That will begin to exit as the day progresses, and then we're going to be left here with some sunshine, but these steady northerly winds, again, keep temperatures down across the region. So as we go city by city for highs in your community, temperatures in the 50s along the coast, breezy once again right along A1A in the Barrier Islands, 55 in Titusville, 54 in Daytona. Metro Orlando, again, some sunshine as we move into the afternoon, but kind of a cool day today. Once again, 56 Celebration, 56 in Longwood. And our inland areas will see a lot of sunshine out there with steady northwesterly winds, 55 in Bushnell, 55 in Leesburg. Let's talk about the weekend here. Saturday morning, again, the coolest air of the season arrives. Saturday's going to feature a lot of sunshine. It does finally begin to warm things up with temperatures back in the 60s. Another somewhat cool night on Sunday morning. We'll be talking about temperatures, I think, into the 40s. And then winds winds begin to switch a little bit more onshore, more of a northeasterly component, and I think that will really help take temperatures higher. A few clouds around, but still dry on Sunday with high temperatures into the 70s. 7-day forecast weekend always in view. Again, clearing skies today, temperatures back in the mid-50s, 60s on Saturday. Here come the 70s on Sunday, and next week's looking great. Dry conditions, numbers back into the mid-70s. Let's head back to the traffic center now. A Q monitoring conditions on the 408.
And here's a live look at the 408 at Conway Road in Orlando, not too far away from our stations here. Drivers are moving in both directions with no problems right now. Drive times we promised you. At the moment, if you're traveling eastbound on I-4 from the Turnpike to Princeton, it'll take you about 8 minutes. If you're traveling eastbound on 408 between the Turnpike and I-4, it'll take you about 8 minutes as well.
According to the CDC, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. Coming up, how a new non-invasive surgery done right here in Central Florida is giving people a fighting chance.
And we are getting closer to the opening of Central Florida's newest theme park next. What local businesses are doing to cash in on all the extra visitors heading to Epic Universe.
Welcome back. It's 5:55 on this Friday morning. A cardiac procedure at Advent Health is providing Central Florida residents some cutting-edge care. Greg Lee, a local avid skier, received this care after a recent scare. The life-saving method is called transcontinuous aortic valve replacement. That minimally invasive procedure places a new valve inside the heart through a small catheter, avoiding the need for heart surgery.
Placing a valve in his native valve, or the valve that they'd sewn in, and recreating a normal functioning aortic valve. So the advantage of it is they don't have to have an open chest. They're not on the heart-lung machine.
Now, according to the CDC, heart disease is the leading cause of death here in the United States, and that's why doctors say it's important to catch it early. Lee was able to water ski again just 2 weeks after that procedure. Look at that.
The Osceola County Sheriff's Office is facing a federal lawsuit right now.
At the top of the 6 o'clock hour, we speak to legal experts about one man's allegations that deputies are responsible for the fireball that burned 75% of his body.
We are tracking once again cloudy conditions and cold temperatures across the region. The very latest, and when we finally begin to warm up, when the coolest air of the season could arrive in Central Florida.